Hello curious minds, welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the captivating and mysterious world of vampires, uncovering their origins, delving into their complex history, and exploring their significance in the modern age. We'll also shed light on the beliefs and superstitions that have surrounded these enigmatic creatures throughout the centuries. The concept of vampires has fascinated and terrified people for centuries, permeating various cultures and leaving an indelible mark on folklore, literature, and popular culture. Before we move on, please consider subscribing to our channel as it really motivates us to bring out more informative and fascinating videos for you. With that being said, let's begin. The origins of the vampire myth are deeply rooted in ancient beliefs and superstitions. While the concept of vampires varies across cultures, there are several common themes and origins that have contributed to their development. One of the earliest known mentions of vampire-like creatures can be traced back to ancient Mesopotamia. The Akimu, meaning that which is snatched away, referred to spirits of the dead who return to the realm of the living to drink the blood of the living. Ancient Greece and Rome also had their versions of vampire-like entities. In Greek mythology, the Lamia was a female demon believed to suck the blood of children. Similarly, the Roman writer Pliny the Elder mentioned the Strix, a nocturnal birdwoman who drank blood. Vampires have deep roots in Slavic folklore too. Slavic cultures, including those in Eastern Europe, developed extensive vampire lore. They believed in creatures like the Uper or Nosferatu, reanimated corpses who returned from the grave to harm the living. Various rituals and practices aimed to prevent the dead from turning into vampires, such as burying the deceased with garlic or driving a stake through the heart. The Balkans, including regions like Serbia and Bulgaria, have a strong tradition of vampire folklore. Stories of vampires known as vrikolakas were widespread. They were believed to be reanimated corpses who returned to drink the blood of the living. These vampires were often associated with plagues and misfortunes. China has its own version of the vampire, known as the jiangshi. These reanimated corpses are said to drain the life force from the living, similar to the Western concept of vampires. Jiangshi are often depicted hopping rather than walking. Vlad III, known as Vlad the Impaler, ruled Wallachia in the 15th century and is often associated with the historical figure who inspired the Dracula legend. While Vlad the Impaler was not a vampire, his brutal methods of punishing enemies, including impalement, contributed to the image of a bloodthirsty ruler. In the 19th century, parts of New England experienced a phenomenon known as the New England vampire panic. Families believed that deceased relatives were returning as vampires and feeding on the living. To combat this, they exhumed bodies and burned the organs of the deceased, believing it would stop the alleged vampires' nocturnal activities. Vampires have played a significant role in literature, particularly in the 19th and 20th centuries. Here are some notable literary works that have shaped the vampire legend. Bram Stoker's novel Dracula is arguably the most famous vampire story. It introduced Count Dracula, a Transylvanian nobleman who is also a vampire. The book has had a lasting influence on vampire lore and established many vampire tropes, such as immortality, fear of sunlight, and the need for human blood. Carmilla is an early vampire novella that predates Dracula. It tells the story of a female vampire named Carmilla who preys on a young woman named Laura. The novella explores themes of lesbianism and vampirism. Anne Rice's series of novels, including Interview with the Vampire released in 1976, introduced readers to Lestat, Lewis, and other complex, morally ambiguous vampires. Her books helped humanize vampires, making them empathetic and multi-dimensional characters. Vampires have been a popular theme in contemporary pop culture, with countless movies, television series, and other forms of media exploring various aspects of the vampire mythos. Buffy the Vampire Slayer TV series. This iconic series follows Buffy Summers, a young woman chosen to battle vampires, demons, and other supernatural foes. It blends horror, comedy, and drama to create a unique take on the vampire genre. Twilight book series and film adaptations. Stephenie Meyer's Twilight series brought a new perspective to vampires by portraying them as glittering, immortal creatures who can choose to live ethically by consuming animal blood rather than human blood. The franchise was immensely popular among young adults. The Vampire Diaries TV series, based on the book series by L.J. Smith, The Vampire Diaries focuses on the lives of the Salvatore brothers, Stefan and Damon, who are vampires. The series explores themes of love, redemption, and the complexities of being a vampire. While vampires are creatures of myth and legend, there are several interesting facts and beliefs associated with them. Vampire protection. Across cultures, various methods have been used to protect against vampires. These include garlic, crosses, holy water, wooden stakes, and mirrors, as vampires were believed to have no reflection. Immortality and agelessness. Vampires are often portrayed as immortal beings who do not age. They remain eternally youthful, which is part of their allure. Bloodsucking. One of the defining traits of vampires is their need to consume blood to sustain their existence. This aspect of the myth is deeply rooted in the fear and fascination associated with blood. Transformation and shapeshifting. Vampires are sometimes depicted as shapeshifters who can take on the form of bats, wolves, or other creatures. This ability adds to their mystique. Vulnerabilities. Vampires have various vulnerabilities in folklore and fiction. These include aversion to sunlight, garlic, holy symbols, wooden stakes through the heart, and being invited into a person's home. The spread of vampirism. In many vampire legends, being bitten and drained by a vampire leads to the victim becoming a vampire themselves. This notion of vampirism spreading through infection or a bite has been a recurring theme. Ethical vampires. Some modern vampire narratives explore the concept of ethical vampires who resist their predatory instincts and attempt to coexist with humans without causing harm. Vampires are, of course, creatures of fiction and legend. However, their enduring appeal and the human fascination with these nocturnal predators have led to some interesting scientific and psychological interpretations. Some have suggested that the vampire myth may have been inspired by real medical conditions, such as porphyria. Porphyria is a group of rare genetic disorders that can cause sensitivity to sunlight, reddish teeth, and psychiatric symptoms. However, this theory is not widely accepted by scholars. From a psychological perspective, the vampire legend may symbolize various human fears and desires. Vampires can represent the fear of death, the allure of immortality, and the sexual and forbidden aspects of life. Vampires often embody the concept of the seductive other. They are outsiders who tempt humans with the promise of eternal life, beauty, and power, while also posing a threat. Vampires raise questions about what it means to be alive or dead. They blur the line between life and death, challenging our understanding of mortality and immortality. Vampires have evolved and adapted over the centuries, from bloodthirsty demons to romantic antiheroes. They continue to be a captivating and enduring element of popular culture, offering a mirror to our fears and desires. While vampires may not exist in reality, their presence in literature, film, and folklore persists, keeping the legend of these nocturnal creatures alive in our collective imagination. The allure of vampires, with their immortality, seduction, and dark mystique, remains as potent as ever, ensuring their place in the pantheon of mythical creatures for generations to come. And there you have it, the rich tapestry of vampire lore, from its ancient beginnings to its enduring presence in our modern world. We hope you've enjoyed this journey through the shadows and secrets of these mythical beings. If you found this video as intriguing as we did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button below. By subscribing, you'll stay updated with more fascinating content about the world's most intriguing legends and myths. Your support means the world to us. And, of course, if you've enjoyed this video and found it enlightening, please show your appreciation by hitting the like button and sharing it with your friends and fellow vampire enthusiasts. Your likes, shares, and comments fuel our passion for bringing you more captivating content. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, stay curious, stay passionate, and, as always, stay thirsty for knowledge. Goodbye.